This is one of my favorite plants. This, uh, it smells kind of like Old Spice or men's cologne. It's called Southernwood, and it's a good moth repellent. So you can dry it and put it in your closets. I like to cut it and just bring it into the house and have it smell nice. I had this plant I had for many years, and it only got so tall. It was over there under that great big black walnut tree, but it never got bigger, taller than a foot. So I thought, okay, it's not too happy there. I'm going to move it. Brought it over here because I like the smell of it. I wanted it near where I sit, so I could just pet it on a corner where I walk by, and I can just pet it when I walk by. And it went from this big to this big in just the first year I put it out here. So it definitely was much happier being away from the black walnut tree. Black walnuts actually put a toxin out to kill other plants, so it doesn't compete with the tree. And so that's what was happening to that. Because there's another southernwood, there was two of them over there. I left one over there, and it's still short. It's only about a foot tall. So I'll have to move it sometime. But look how much room it takes. Oh, here, look at this growing in this little, this is a pot that I usually just put annuals in, like pansies. But this mullein is growing up here. And mullein is so fuzzy. Oh my gosh. This is why it's so nice to come visit a garden, you know? It's just soft and fuzzy. Look how fuzzy that is. This is the best toilet paper when you're out in the woods. This is the stuff to grab. A leaf will get big like this. I've seen leaves over a foot long and this wide. And it's a biennial. So this one will bloom next year. And if I sit this pot right on the ground, it'll probably winter over right in the pot. I've seen that happen. I had one get, oh my God, like I'm 5 feet. It must have been 7 feet tall. And it had wintered over in a pot that was on the ground. So it's hardy. It sends down like a taproot. But this actually has chemicals in it that help open up the bronchial tubes. So it's very good for the lungs. So that's one of the main medicinal uses for it. It's got other uses as well. But it grows all over the Adirondacks. Here's a sage plant. So need to cut this here soon before it gets any colder. This is an old flower stalk from sage. So you might still be able to find some seeds inside, if you want to start it from seed. A lot of these things start well from cuttings. And you can actually lay some of these down into the ground and bury this part of it in the soil. Sometimes you take a fork stick and put it down to hold it into the ground, and it'll start a root system here. And once it makes roots there, then you cut it off from the main plant and move it where you want. So that's one way of propagating a lot of herbs. This tall guy is Joe Pieweed. It was all very fuzzy up here. The wind's blown them all off, most of them. It had like a dusty rose color flowers. And this is good for fevers. And it was used back when people got typhoid fever a lot. They would make a tea out of Joe Pieweed for that. This is what's left of the comfrey. Comfrey, here's a younger plant that's got some green leaves on it. This one's died down completely. But comfrey's a medicinal plant as well. It's super nutritious for the soil. So if you got poor soil, you plant comfrey and that soil is going to turn black because all these leaves will die down in, and look at how black this soil is. I mean, that's just beautiful soil. So it's very good for compost pile. I cut it down 3 times a year and put it in the compost pile. And when I had goats, I used to feed it to the goats because it was so nutritious. So we have black raspberries here. Black raspberries have a different color stem than the blackberries. And some people call them black caps because they're hollow in the center, like a red raspberry. But they're delicious. I love those. Here's another kind of mint. This is called Kentucky Kernel mint. Kentucky is a big mint state because of Kentucky Derby, and they drink their mint juleps during the Kentucky Derby. So this was one of the mints that used to be used for that. And I was so disappointed. I think it was 2 years ago I was watching the Kentucky Derby, and they were interviewing the chef that was in charge of making the mint juleps. And he was so proud to say that we are now importing a mint from Italy. And I was like, come on, why don't you stick to local mints? Because there's great herb farms in Kentucky growing mint. I thought it was such a shame not to be supporting them anymore. Well, it doesn't look like much right now, but underneath here there's wild gingerwood. So here, you see I scratched away. Can you see these roots here? It's also called Canadian snake root. It just snakes across the ground. This is a native to the area. Tastes like ginger. Smells like ginger. This is going to be the flower and leaves for next year. The flower and the leaves, the flower comes out just after the leaf starts to come open, and it stays very low to the ground. So you almost have to brush the leaves away to even see the flowers. And these are little violets coming up here too. They're this is just your regular purple violet. These little things are really good to eat. They're like I don't know, bean shoots or something. I don't, they're really yummy. Anyway, you can make a tea out of wild ginger. It's on a watch list. So plants that have medicinal roots are ones that are endangered more than others, because you have to kill the plant mostly to enable to use them. I find though with the wild ginger, sometimes you can take a piece in between. These are all overcrowded and they really need to be dug up. And it loves to be divided, wild ginger. It's amazing. It's so hard to find in the woods anymore. But sometimes you can take out pieces between the plants and not kill the plant. But I have so much of it here. I mean, there's like 6 feet of it here. I've got more of it over there in a pathway that, people are walking on. So this is one plant that's very hard to find. And if anybody wants to come get some, just come see me. It's here. Not that I need any more of it, but I'll just throw it away, put it back in. So I invite you to come out and visit the Plattsburgh Botanical Sanctuary. Not this year, we couldn't have groups, but I've had single people come through, couples, small families come through. I hope this year, in 2001, I'm hoping to get some of the local schools to come through. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, any kind of club, 4-H clubs want to come through and learn about plants, learn about the value of them, and just like plant appreciation 101, and so maybe they'll think twice, like, dandelions are very valuable. They help the liver, they help regulate your blood sugar, super nutritious. So instead of spraying your lawns with weed killer to kill the dandelions, maybe you should go out there and dig them up and eat them. Make a good coffee out of them. So that's, I hope kids will just, learn to appreciate plants and take a little better care of the planet.